This video is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Hello, baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
What about this guy, Willy Adames? This has been a conversation really throughout the year, this past year, mainly because everybody that I know anyway, everybody I've talked to wants a replacement at shortstop for the Atlanta Braves. And all due respect to Orlando Arcia, he's had a solid tenure with the Braves, but last year, no doubt about it, was rough. And I think everybody respects him for what he did in 2023, where he won an All-Star and all of that. He really came out and proved that, look, yeah, you lost Dansby Swanson, but I can be just as good on my best day. The problem was, for this season, this past season, he was not that. He did not play to that level. Should we expect better in 2025? I would hope so. Should the Braves try to adjust and find a better shortstop during this offseason? I think that's fair. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, well, Tyler, are the Braves actually going to do it? I don't think so. So take that for what you will. You're looking out there going, well, Tyler, you just said we should address this. I didn't say that. I said we should try to address this. There's a big difference. Yes, everybody realizes that in the lineup, one of the weakest points is the shortstop position. All due respect to Arcia, when you have Acuna, when you have Riley, when you have Olsen, when you have Michael Harris even in the lineup, and this past year, d'Arnaud, Murphy, you're going to be a little overshadowed. I didn't even mention Ozuna in that category. You're going to be overshadowed. He is an average bat. He's a decent bat, but he's an average bat. That's okay. It's a little bit of a throwback to when shortstops weren't the MVPs or weren't the heavy hitters. I'm not saying he's Ozzie Smith. I'm just saying he's an average, solid defense, decent bat shortstop. It's not the worst thing in the world. Could you improve it? Sure. But you're going to have to pay for it, and that's where Willy Adames comes in. Willy Adames, terrific shortstop, no doubt about that. You guys have brought him up throughout this entire season, and I've always kind of been skeptical of it. And straight up with you, I've always been skeptical of it. He just got done with the Brewers on a 1-year, $12.25 million deal. 32 homers, 250 batting average. Solid, no doubt about that. Decent defense, but I just don't see the Braves paying him what he's going to demand this year. The shortstop market is kind of down, and Willy Adames is, if not the top prize, one of the top prize, at least in the free agency. I know Carlos Correa is getting shopped around in the trade market. That's not what I'm talking about. Number one, the Braves don't want his contract either. Willy Adames, on the other hand, is probably going to demand something around $30 million. To be frank with you, I have a lot of Brewer fans that are friends with me personally that live in Milwaukee, and they flat out told me if I was any other team, I wouldn't pay Adames. He's a good player, but he's not your next big thing. He's not that.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. New Chevy Silverado 4x4 crew cabs, discounted up to $14,000 off. Brand new 2025 Chevy Equinox, compact SUV with high-tech features, discounted up to $4,000 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Look, he's the biggest shortstop prize there is this year. That doesn't mean he's going to be the biggest prize for the next decade. And you got to be careful because you don't want to pay a generational price for an average shortstop. And look, he's got double the amount of homers that Arcia has. He has a 30-point difference in the batting average. But what Orlando did not give you at the plate this season, he gave you on the field. There's no doubt about that. And that's tough to replace. It's not, a lot of people tend to just forgive defense or forget about defense. It's a forgotten part of the game at this point. And it's unfortunate because when good defense comes around, it's not acknowledged like it should be. I obviously I brought up Ozzie Smith, but we all remember Andrelton Simmons and what he gave on the field. That guy's a Hall of Fame defender, and you could make a case for that. Will he go in? I don't know. I don't think so, because offense is such an integral part of the game now. But Andrelton was a legit, probably one of the greatest defensive shortstops of all time. Arcia is not that, but he is dang sure a day in, day out, great defender. And at shortstop, that's important just as much as offense is. I would argue more important than offense. And really, if we're honest, if Arcia did exactly what he did, I'm looking at his stats right now. If he did exactly what he did this year and everybody on the team was healthy, we would not be having this conversation, right? If Acuna was healthy, if Ozzie didn't have a long stretch out, if Riley wasn't hurt at one point, if Olsen had a more consistent year, if Murphy wasn't hurt, and the offense didn't struggle like it did, because no doubt about it, it did. Number one, Arcia probably would have hit a lot better. The reason he was good in 2023, a lot of people tend to forget it, is because he had an MVP batting behind him. He saw a lot of fastballs. He saw a lot of pitches over the plate. In 2024, that didn't happen because in the first couple of months of the season, Acuna gets hurt, and the offense never really got flowing. He went from having a 264 average in 2023, an all-star season, to a 218 average. Yes, steep decline, no doubt about it. But it's about what he did in the years prior to him coming to Atlanta. In 2016, his rookie year, 220. Following that, 277, 236, 223, 260, 198, and 21. That's back when he was off the bench. So, yes, not a great year. But again, who had a good year last year on the Braves? Outside of Marcell Ozuna. Very few people. So, I don't tend to blame him on that. Willy Adames is expected to get somewhere around a $150 million contract. I would assume that's $30 million across 5 years. I don't see the Braves keeping up with that. The Dodgers are heavily implicated. I don't think the Braves are going to spend anywhere near the Dodgers. I just don't think they're going to even flirt with that. And I don't know that Willy Adames, if you were going to do it, I don't think that Willy Adames would be the talent to do it with.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Shohei Ohtani, as much as I disagree with how the contract was handled, the $700 million over the next 50 years or whatever he's getting, I think that's a bit ridiculous. But if there's a player to do that for, it's Shohei Ohtani, no doubt about it. That said, Willy Adames, $30 million across 5 years, it's not terrible based on the way Major League Baseball has adopted this super high payout regimen that we've been on. But I don't see them doing this for the likes of Willy Adames. All due respect, I think they're going to ride with Orlando Arcia, to all of your dismay. I can hear the grunts and I can hear it, I know. But look, he's going to give you good defense. And I think the hope is going to be that you get into next year, everybody is back to being healthy. Acuna's back in the lineup a month into the season. You can put Arcia in the 9-hole, and whatever he does is gravy. It's not, you're so dependent on it that it becomes a problem. And look, the expectation, all due respect to Orlando Arcia, the expectation when we signed Arcia to his current deal, which, by the way, this is why we're not signing Adames. He's a free agent in 2026. He's making $7.3 million over 3 years through next year. Okay, he's making somewhere in the $2 to $3 million range. Not very much. You're talking about paying Adames over triple that. Or no. I'm sorry. Multiply that times 10. That's what you're talking about paying Adames. Why would they do that? They have a perfectly good defensive shortstop and a decent bat. Yes, it's not the best bat in the world. It's not a team of Avengers, everybody. He's going to struggle. Everybody's going to struggle. He's a good defender. And look, I'm not going to defend what he did this year, but I do think that if you improve the lineup in general, Arcia's numbers will generally get better, right? 2023, everybody was hitting well, so Arcia hit well because, again, he saw a lot of fastballs because everybody knew he's the weakest hitter. That when everybody hits well, your lower bats typically do well too. And that's why they put him in that spot. That's why they put him in the 9-hole. I expect a similar situation come 2025. I expect Arcia to be back. I think Willy Adames will sign to the highest bidder. I don't think it'll be the Braves unless he just wants to come to the Braves and he's willing to take $10 million a year or $12 million a year, what he was making on the Brewers. If that's the case, sure, sign Adames. But if you sign Adames, you're going to be paying him a lot more per year for 15 more homers and 30 points on the batting average. I just don't know that the cost-reward ratio justifies it. And that's my take on it. So I like Adames. I think he's a good player. I just don't know that with the current situation on the Atlanta Braves, where they're paying their really good defensive shortstop $2.25 million a year, why in the world would they pay a guy who's just as good in the field and 15 homers and 30 points on the average better at the plate? I don't get it. I don't see why they'll do it, and that's a business decision. A lot of people are going to tell me, Tyler, how could you not want Adames? That is an in-game decision. That's an in-game conversation we're having. I'm looking at it more in the terms of a money ball situation where I get just as much out of this guy that I'm paying a tenth of than I am Willy Adames. All due respect to Adames, again, great player, but they're going to ride it out with Arcia. So I personally, I know there's going to be a lot of talk about Willy Adames, but when it doesn't happen, just remember, I told you here first. This video has been presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.